Hi everyone, I'm your fave nurse B. So I have been getting a lot of questions about how do you work overtime. You know, as a nurse, typically you can work 12-hour shifts, 16-hour shifts, or 8-hour shifts. At least that's the case at my job. While I was in nursing school, I worked 16-hour shifts, and currently I do 12-hour shifts, but if I pick up agency, I do 8-hour shifts. So yeah, those are pretty long days, especially if you're not used to working in healthcare. 16 hours is ridiculous, especially because in my job, like, we'll do 16s back to back. So especially when I was in nursing school, I would do 16 hours on Saturday, 16 hours on Sunday. So you know what, I had about 5 hours of sleep in between that. Here are some tips to help you to survive overtime and to survive working long shifts at your job. So the first thing I would say is reduce the amount of days that you work. So with me, when I was working 8-hour shifts, I would basically go to work 5 days a week. Anytime I had to pick up, I would have to do like an extra 8 hours in a day. So I have to do like 4 8-hour days and then 1 16-hour day and have 2 days off. To me, that was ridiculous. Or I would come in on my day off and work. And so it's like you're working 6 days a week. It was just crazy. So I would definitely say if you're working 8-hour shifts, get off of those 8-hour shifts, because there's no way I really don't see myself ever being in a position where I work Monday to Friday at anybody's job, unless there's some big incentives in place to make me do that, like the pay or like benefits or something like that. Because working 5 days a week is like they take away your whole life, and then when you do pick up, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm here like forever, like I'm never at home. So reduce the amount of days that you work to begin with a regular shift. So you can do that by doing 12-hour shifts. Typically if you work 12-hour shifts, you just do 3 12s and you're off for 4 days, or you can do 16-hour shifts to begin with. So you can do 2 16s and 1 8 so that you can still be full-time. So that's pretty much what I would say do. That's my opinion, but it's completely up to you what you decide to do. But that's what I say. Do not work 5 days a week. I just don't see the point of that. How do you actually get through 12 hours or 16 hours? First off is, a lot of people say, oh, when I get off of work, I just get home and I want to eat something and I want to be on TV. Not on TV. I want to watch, Netflix, or I'm on my phone and it's so hard for me to fall asleep. You have to get some type of routine in place to train your body to go to sleep as soon as you get home. So for me, I will get off, take a shower, lay in bed. I would not get on my phone. I would not turn on the TV. I wouldn't do anything like extra. I would go to sleep. Now that was before I had kids. Once I had kids and I was working 12-hour shifts and I knew I had to go back for another 12 hours the next day, typically what I would do is, like my daughter, we basically have her like on a schedule. Even from like four weeks old, she was on the schedule like sleeping. We were on top of that. But I knew that as soon as I got off, like I would do 12-hour shifts. So I would get off, I would start at 6:30, get off at 7 p.m. She typically went to sleep like around 9. So I knew, okay, I get home, take a shower, play with her for a little bit, eat something, play with her, get her in the room, get her to relax, get her to go to sleep. Boom, I'll probably be able to go to sleep like around 10 o'clock, 9 to 10 o'clock, and know that I have to be back at work at 6:30 in the morning. So you have to have some type of routine in place so that you get your butt to sleep. Do not look at that phone. I'm telling you, once you start getting on that phone, you look on Instagram, you look at your fave nurse B, like, comment, and subscribe. And it's just like, next thing you know, a whole hour has passed. You've been looking at the screen this whole time. So your brain is not switching on to, boom, it's time to go to sleep, because you're looking at this bright screen. So your circadian rhythm is all the way off. But yeah, definitely leave the phone alone, leave the TV alone. Now I know some people need the TV to go to sleep. I don't. I'm not one of them people, but I understand if you do. Put it on something that you really know you're not gonna watch, you're not interested in. If you have to watch TV in order to go to sleep, put it on something that's boring, okay? So that's my second tip. My third tip is to make sure that if you do drink caffeinated beverages while you're at work, I would say drink them before 2 p.m. So the reason why I say that is because like caffeine has like, what do you call it? I'm gonna put it in here somewhere, but like the lifespan of it in your body is hours. So if you drink your last cup of coffee like at 8 o'clock at night and you're gonna get off, I don't know, at 10:30, that coffee is still gonna be in your system when you get home. It's still gonna be in your system hours and hours and hours after you freaking clock out. So it's gonna make it harder for you to go to sleep. And we need to go to sleep so we can go back to work the very next day and probably work another 16 hours. So get your coffee in before 2 p.m. Because it won't affect you when you go to sleep. So definitely do that. And then after, even when you get like that midday like hump, like, so I would work my first 8 hours, and then maybe I would have to go to a different floor and work, or stay on the same unit. Typically what I would do is I would drink my coffee right before I start my next shift, and then throughout the next shift I would just drink a lot of fluids. Stay hydrated. You have to stay hydrated when you're working these long shifts. So that's the next tip, is to stay hydrated. Drink water. I mean, you can drink juice and stuff like that, but make sure you're drinking a lot of water so that you can keep your energy, so you can actually get through that shift and not be like completely out of it. I definitely make sure that my next tip after staying hydrated is to make sure that you get as much work done in the beginning of your shift as possible, because once you get through the shift, honey, I don't want to have to keep getting up doing all this stuff. I rather get all the grunt work done in the beginning of my shift. So if you have to do treatments, vital signs, AccuChecks, assessments, things like that, get that done as soon as you clock in. Get that done as soon as your shift starts. Because it just makes things even worse as you go on, because you're going to be more tired. You're not going to feel like getting up and doing all this extra stuff. So do it in the beginning when you got some energy, when you're awake, when you're alert. Do it then, because you know stuff always comes up in your shift. So you definitely want to make sure that you get all the heavy stuff out the way before anything else comes up and before you get tired. So don't be lazy. Come to work and start working, which I talk about that in a lot of my videos. Just come to work and start working. It really helps, trust me. The next tip is, depending on where you work, you might, in like you're standing at that job, you may stay on the same floor to work, or you might have to get transferred to a different floor. For me, I'm a float nurse. I only work 3 days a week, or I will work 2 days a week depending on how, you know, I did my schedule. And they put me wherever they need to put me, which it is what it is. So I might do 8 hours at this, look, if I work 12-hour shifts, look, they would have me do like 8 hours on one floor and then 4 hours on another floor and be done for the day. I was like, really? You can just keep me on the same floor so I could just like, so I could work behind myself and get work done. You get what I'm saying? Like, if you work on the same unit for the entire shift or for the entire day, I would say, it makes it so much easier to be able to get work done, because you already know, okay, here are my AccuChecks, here are my treatments. Or if you're on that floor, you know, you can do treatments earlier, you know what I'm saying? Or like if you have to do assessments, you can get those done. If there's something to do on evening shift, you can do it on day shift. Certain things, like if you have to do a skin assessment and you know it's due on evening shift, you can go ahead and get it done on day shift when this person is getting a shower, so it's easier for you. You get what I'm saying? But I wouldn't give like a medication on day shift that's due on evening shift, of course. So it's good to work behind yourself, but just know that you might not always do that. But if you're in a place that's willing to let you do that, definitely request it. Me, I didn't care so much. It was times where I was just like, y'all can't keep me on the same floor. Like, I'm tired of moving around. But I will say there's times when I had a crazy morning and I did not want to get to work. Like, I was tired of being on that floor. I was tired of the patients, tired of the people, tired of everybody. And I was very, very happy to go to other floors and work in an environment that wasn't as hectic, that was more laid back. So just keep that in mind too. So that's that. See if you can stay on that floor if you want to, just to make your day a lot easier, because you've been with them all day. So you can talk to a family and say, hey, I was with her all morning, she's been doing pretty good, you know. Or versus going to a whole other floor and you don't really know that much about what's going on that floor that day, it's kind of harder to do the work over there. Last thing I will say is just know that it gets better over time. I used to work days, evenings, and nights. Like literally, that was my shifts. I worked all 3 shifts. That was what I did. I would work evening and night, and then on some days I would just come in on day shift, and then I would do evening night 16s back to back on the weekends, and then 1 day out the week, 1 day shift out the week. So I was working, y'all, and like I said, I worked all shifts. And working evening night, it was rough. I felt like evening night was better than working day evening. That was my opinion. And you all have all been asking about freaking working night shift and how do I get through night shift and what is it like on night shift. I have 2 videos about that, so definitely watch these 2 videos. If you all are interested in learning more about working night shift, let me know if you all have any more questions, any video requests. And as always, thank you so much for watching my videos, for liking, for commenting, and subscribing, and also for sharing my videos. If you would like, make sure that you subscribe for more videos on nursing, nursing students, CNA, CMTs, LPNs, RNs, all that good stuff. And also join the FavNurseB Facebook group and follow me on Instagram. All right, you all. Peace.